All right, what's up, everyone? First off, I want to thank you for clicking on this video and taking the time out of your day to watch this video. In this video, I'm basically going to give a high-level overview of everything that I did to go from my starting point where I wasn't very satisfied with my physique and the way I looked to the current point where I am happy with the physique that I've achieved. The title is a little bit clickbaity with secrets. Like, there are no secrets at the end of the day, right? It's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of effort, but I do hope that by kind of outlining the process I followed, by telling you the mistakes that I made and telling you what worked for me, I can make the process a lot more efficient for you, such that, with the hard work, with the effort, you waste less time than I did. Because with what I know now, I think what I accomplished in the last 5-ish years with my physique, I could have done in 2, maybe 3. So yeah, I'll outline that. I do have some notes in front of me, so if I'm looking down, I'm just looking at the notes to make sure, I stay somewhat on track. But this video will be fairly off the cuff. And yeah, without further ado, we can begin. Now, I'm going to give a starting point, so I'm going to put up a picture of what I looked like before I started any of this, weightlifting and such things. And I'll put that up now. Now, as you can see, I was very skinny. I would classify my starting point as a skinny fat starting point. So I had a layer of fat on my stomach. So when I took my shirt off, it's not like I had abs, but also with a shirt, I looked very skinny. And me personally, I wasn't, satisfied with looking like this. I wanted to look a lot more muscular and I wanted to have abs and everything. So, this was kind of the starting point and where I got motivated to say, I want to look different. And I started pursuing this journey. Now, at this point, right at the starting point, I was not very comfortable showing off my physique. So if there was ever like an event or something where you had to be shirtless, like you're going to the beach, I just wasn't comfortable with taking off my shirt. And that was just not a good feeling. I didn't really want to continue to feel like that. And that's what really inspired me to move forward. And that also brings me to one point that I feel is very important here, and that is what I'll label as the first secret. All right. So the first thing I want to point out is you really, should be doing this stuff for yourself. Now, this is something that a lot of people pointed out to me before I began because, my motivation was largely external. I wanted to do this because, I wanted to look good. I wanted people to like compliment my physique and, things like that, like all these external factors. But now I'm at a point where I really understand what people meant when they said you should be doing this for yourself. When you're doing this for external factors, it's very easy to just get swayed. Like one day you're going to be bulking, putting on muscle, and then someone will tell you, oh, actually, I think you looked a lot better when you were leaner. And then you're gonna start cutting the next day, and then someone will make a comment. It's like, oh, you're starting to look small now. You should bulk. Then you start bulking. So really doing it for external factors or trying to impress other people, it doesn't lead to the best progress, one, and it can just be a very difficult road. And so I would say, if you can get to a point where you're truly doing this for yourself, doing this for your health, doing this because you want to feel better, because you want to improve your physical health, or you just want to, get more active, whatever it may be, treating it as more of a personal goal, and really working from that, I think will yield much better results. So that would be the first secret. Really do try to do this for yourself. External motivation factors are fine. It's not like any of us are completely internally motivated. We all like to look good. We all like to get the compliments. But if you can get to that point of largely internal motivation, I think that'll be very beneficial. Now, when I started, right, I started off with a dirty bulk. Now, this is going to lead to the second secret, which is results are going to come at their own pace. Really don't try to accelerate the process to a point where it can't be accelerated. Now, here's what I mean by that. When I started this dirty bulk, and I'm going to put a picture up right now of what I looked like at the end of that. Now, as you can see in that photo, I, had put on a decent amount of weight, but keep in mind that as a natural, you're going to be putting on at most, especially when you're starting out, when you just start lifting, where you can put on the most amount of muscle, the max is about 2 pounds a month, according to research, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not 2 pounds, it's in that ballpark for sure. And I had put on somewhere around 40 to 50 pounds in a span of a few months. So, it's clear that a lot of that wasn't muscle, and that wasn't my goal either. I was trying to put on the most amount of muscle, right? That's the ultimate goal. But what I was also trying to do is just trying to fast track, trying to find a shortcut to do this. And the fact is, these things just take their time. There's no other way to say it. I would have gotten much better results just going through a slower bulk, anywhere from 200 to 500 calorie surplus, focusing on training 3 to 5 days a week, focusing on compound movements, all these bulking basics, and just being more patient with it. And I would have put on, like, within that span, I would have put on more muscle and I would have put on less fat. But again, I was trying to fast track this, and at the end of the day, there is no fast tracking it. Your body's going to take its time to put on muscle. It's a slow, slow process. As many people say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And treat it as such, I believe you'll have much better results. Now, after this, I cut down hard, and I'm going to put a picture up of what I looked like at the end of the cut. So, looking back at this, I honestly didn't mind how I looked there. It was still a step up from where I had started from. So I was proud there. I hadn't done it the most optimal way, but I had put on muscle and I had lost fat, which were both of my goals when I had first started. So I was proud of myself at this point, and it was nice to see the fruits of my labor, if you will. So this was a really good point for me just to build up more motivation and keep pushing forward. Now, after this, what I did was I bulked up again. And I made so there's two things about this bulk. One, the things that I talked about before, I knew those now. So this was a much better bulk than my first one. But I did make another mistake here, and that's going to be the next secret, right? So the next secret is you really should focus on resting. Rest more. When I was doing this, again, this was another kind of side effect of trying to fast track results. I was training sometimes upward of 6 days a week. I was, pushing multiple exercises to failure. And what that led to was pretty insignificant strength gains, right? Because my muscle, say I work chest on like Monday and I go to work chest again on Wednesday, my chest wasn't fully recovered because of all the failure sets that I'd done on Monday. So I wouldn't really be adding a lot of weight to my bench. And I noticed that throughout my bulk cycle, like I wasn't getting as much stronger as I would have liked to. Like I was getting stronger, but some of my friends, they were getting much much stronger than me. you know and I think that was just a factor of me constantly pushing towards failure all the time, trying to get the muscle fast fast fast. And sometimes it's best to just give your body a rest. Take the extra rest day if you need it. For compound movements, my honest suggestion is they should rarely be pushed towards failure. Leaving 1 to 2 reps in reserve is going to ensure that you stimulated the muscle, you got the benefit from it, and then you rest, you go home, and next time you go to hit the same movement, you're going to be well recovered and ready to add more weight. So that would be my recommendation, honestly. And that's going to be the secret here: rest more. Now, after I bulk up, and I'm going to put some pictures of the bulk here, I think this was a fairly successful bulk despite the mistake that I had made. So I had put on some muscle here. I had put on much, much less fat than I had put on in the first bulk. And yeah, I didn't mind how I looked here. I thought this was good progress, and it was about time to cut down again. So at this point, what I did was I cut down yet again, and I'm going to put a picture up of what my physique looked like. This was, fairly satisfactory to me. Like, I did want to be leaner, I did want to put on more muscles, but I wanted to continue the process. But at this point, I had realized the things that I had talked about in the secrets. So I knew that this is a marathon, not a sprint. This is going to be, basically my lifestyle. I'm going to live like this for as long as I live, because I was really starting to enjoy the process. So I was like, okay, I look pretty good. I'm decently lean. I have a decent amount of muscle. So let's continue to build on this slowly and slowly. And I was gonna go for another bulk at this point, but around this time was when COVID had kind of just started, creeping around the corner. So, gyms were about ready for closure, and they started closing down actually when I decided, hey, I want to do another bulk. I was maintaining up until that point. And with the gyms closed, there was no real point in doing another bulk because I wouldn't be able to overload my exercises. So I wouldn't be able to add more weight to the exercises that I wanted to add more weight to. So I decided to basically maintain, and I maintained. I did a bit of a mini cut, so I did lose some weight because I wanted to get even leaner. And I'll put some pictures up right now of what I looked like after that cut. And yeah, so this is more or less my current state. I would say currently from the last picture, I'm about 5-ish pounds heavier. And right now I'm trying to lose 5 pounds to get back to that point. And then I'm going to do a very slow and steady bulk. But overall, I'm happy with this point that I'm at. Now, there is one more secret that I want to point to, and it ties together a few of the points that I've talked about earlier, which is really if you're trying to achieve, the same goal that I had, which is kind of achieving the Hollywood physique, for lack of a better term. You want to look like how, the actors look in Hollywood movies. They have, a wide shoulder, small waist, fairly lean, fair amount of muscle. The main goal there, if you really think about it, is maximizing muscle and being fairly lean. Now that may sound really obvious, and it is, but if you recognize that, you really can see what needs to be done, right? So first step, if you don't have enough muscle, will be to put on that muscle. And tying that back to what I said before, if you're natural, the muscle is going to take the time that it takes. Just, follow the process, follow a proper bulking protocol, be patient, let the process take its course, and the results will come. If you're putting in the hard work, without a doubt, the results will come. And then once you're at a point where you're like, okay, now I want to cut down, I would say the same thing there. Take it slowly, no need to rush it. Follow the process, yeah, that's been proven to work, and just cut down. And I believe if you follow these principles, really, you'll be able to achieve your goal physique a lot faster than I did. That's for sure. I mean, this again, I look back at it and I think, this took me 5 years. Easily, I could have done this within 2 to 3 years had I just followed the advice that I'm giving out now. So I hope that helps. This was a very high level overview of the things to do. I do plan on making videos that will go deeper into the topic of, how to do a proper bulk, how to do a proper cut, kind of the things I did there, exercise selection, things like that, and really dive deeper into, some of these topics. So if that sounds interesting to you, please do drop a like and subscribe and watch out for those videos. And, if you have any other questions or any other topic you'd like me to touch on, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to talk about it. And yeah, once again, thank you very much for clicking on this video, and I will talk to you later. Peace.